questions that a lot of our students always have is that we can't start up something without first raising at least some amount of funds. At least in this generation, the VC comes before the product does.
The youngsters sitting right in front of me, they think it's a very glittery, glamorous business. You are on your own, you are a CEO, you are the owner, you can go in mountains, you can go for vacations. No, it's nothing like that. They have, put business into very 3-4 simple steps. Banao, becho, bhago types.
Banao, becho,
bhago.
bhago.
So this is...
Double click on this. I think the biggest question I had in my mind was, how did you build these relationships with these dermats?
I'm very happy to say that it's the wall which is very high. So it's a slow process. He will try out, maybe he tried out on you and you were a happy customer. So you come back to them, they start prescribing it more. But it builds a very strong foundation for the brand, definitely.
Should our students start up in cosmetics and skincare? And would you recommend or would you not? Hi guys. Alright, we'll get started in 2-3 minutes. But how's it going, guys? Alright, so how many of you are undergrads? Oh, today's an undergrad group, huh? And PG? Alright, it's 50-50, I guess. Okay, awesome. How many of you have already searched ma'am before? There you go. Alright, so I'll try to do justice to the introduction and then we'll get started. So ma'am, thank you so much for coming. I really, really appreciate. The reason I am very excited about having ma'am and why I flew down specifically to interview you is because I am a huge consumer of your products.
Thank you so much.
5 years ago, my dermatologist recommended that I use her cleanser and the gel.
Alpha Beta Acne Gel.
Alpha Beta Acne Gel. And literally that changed like my skin. Like I'm not even kidding. And for the last 5 years, and I don't know if it's a good thing to use your product for 5 years.
No, you should.
No, because, I went to another dermatologist once and she said, no, you can't use the same product for 5 years. It's supposed to solve a problem. Once it's solved, you're not supposed to use it again. But I'm so scared of not using her products. So for the last 5 years, I've been continuously using her products. And I was doing a calculation back of the envelope. I've
How
contributed.
Much you paid for
us? Because I finish it in 1 month.
Okay.
Right?
Great,
I use it morning and evening.
I'll give you a discount code.
But yeah, lots of money I've spent. But it's an awesome product. Have any of you tried the product? You have every day? Okay. And how did you discover the product?
I went to a dermatologist in Mumbai and she recommended Fixderma. I went to that and I didn't have it there. That time I couldn't find it. So I looked everywhere and then I ordered it on Amazon and got it.
So yeah, that's how I also, my dermatologist swears by the product. And that's when I realized how strong a brand this is, right? So today we're going to talk to ma'am about how she's built this brand, how all the dermatologists are so close to the brand, how they recommend it so strongly. That's a very tough job to do, right? And we'll understand her journey as well. So you guys all set? All right, awesome. And you also think of your questions because I'll finish my question the first 10-15 minutes, then we'll open it up to all of you guys. Cool? All right. And by the way, how many of you are building D2C products right now? In some way, yeah? Okay, awesome. So your questions will be a lot deeper and focused on D2C. All right.
Love to answer those questions here.
So ma'am, what is the one most memorable memory that you have of building this brand? It's been 16 years, right?
15, 16
15,
years.
16 years.
Many.
What's the most, one thing that comes to your mind straight away?
So many, actually. And you just mentioned that even she said about Mumbai, this kind of validation, you love it. Anytime it comes from a consumer state, you love it, actually. So once I was asked this question, when do you feel the most, Mike? When do you feel the most, elated or happy or satisfied? So I said, when I go to somebody's house and see my products maybe on their dressing table or in the washroom. So I feel, okay, we are there.
Do you go to the bathroom only for that purpose?
Check karne ke liye. So coming to your question, many times, I remember once, I'll tell you this incident. Once we imported a product. So how I started my journey, I'll tell you guys. So we were in Southeast Asia for a very long time, and we were in Cambodia. So the political condition of the country was quite unstable. We never knew what's going to happen. Elections used to happen, but it was a dictatorship. So every time the same PM. So we thought our eggs should be in different baskets. So we planned to come back to India in 2007. And that time I had just finished my MBA from University of Southern Queensland, Australia. So I'll tell you about that story also. Very interesting. I mean, you all should know. So we were thinking of putting a pharmaceutical factory that time. But then we saw the competition in the market. We gave up the idea. And I saw this gap because we were in Southeast Asia and we saw the beauty industry was way ahead. Way ahead if you talk about Indian market.
So they were way ahead of us.
Much ahead than us. In India, if you go to a retail shop, you will find, that time I'm talking about, 3 or 4 shampoos, all from P&G or Unilever. Rest were not there, or from let's say, Ayurvedic, others were not there. So packaging, quality was of course not there. And we saw those markets were so mature. Even an anti-dandruff shampoo, you'll get 10 varieties. So that idea came that we should start something in India. So I thought first, let me represent a company from US or Australia. So I took exclusive distribution for two companies. One was from US and one was from Australia.
For India.
For India, exclusive distribution. So generally these Goras think that we have 1 billion plus population और सब shampoo लगाते होंगे. So they calculate like that. You should have this big is the market, so you should sell these numbers. They don't understand what is the buying power of Indians, and still a very
India
small.
1, India 2, India 3.
Yes, still a very small percentage consumes, right? So, anyways, I started, and the first company, Australian company, it got sold within 2 years, and that time it was a very new term for me. You know, I was sitting in front of my monitor and literally crying, because I had just started establishing their brand, reaching out to doctors, and they were expensive products. It took me quite some time, to establish the brand. And then they sent me a 2-liner message that the company is sold to a giant pharmaceutical company based in US. So I was like wondering what to do now, and what is this selling thing, how can you sell a company? Because generally the companies in India passed on to kids and
Yeah,
then they...
generational.
So it was a very new thing for me. So then... and then he started pushing me for sales because he thought that India is such a big market and we are doing very small numbers. So then the idea came that we should have our own brand, and I've already seen the vacuum because pharmaceutical look, feel products were already there. Like, generally when you go to a dermat that time, he used to prescribe you fungal infection products or, bacterial infection. Let's say Mupirocin hoti hai, if you know about such products. And they all had a very serious look, or 100 rupees mein mil jate the sare products. So the idea came that we should launch similar kind of products in India. So that's how Fix Derma, we thought of the brand. It means fixing your derm. The intent and is very clearly in the name itself. We want to fix your skin, and we have a huge range of products for any type of skincare concern. So going back to what I was actually mentioning. So when, I was representing the US company, so we had to import all their products to India. So we imported a certain product. Why I'm telling you this incident, it's very important for all of you to know. And it got stuck with the drug department, the customs. So उसने जो वहाँ पे ADC था, assistant custom commissioner, he said मेरे CFA को जो clearing agent था, Malik को बुलाओ. So I was a very young Malik, had no sales, nothing. What Malik, I was very scared what I've done wrong. So I reached to his office and he said, आपको मालूम है आपने क्या import किया है? तो मैंने बोला नहीं मालूम है. तो he said, there were this thick books, of Cosmetic Act of India, Drug and Cosmetic Act of India. पढ़ा है इनको? तो मैंने बोला नहीं पढ़ा है. इतनी मैंने ऐसी see एक तो when I had just come back from abroad, so I was very vocal with my opinion, and I used to think कि मुझे सबको सिखाना है और सबको सुधारना है. तो मैंने बोला नहीं पढ़ा है, और आप कैसे पढ़ सकता है कोई इतनी मोटी बुक. तो कह रहा है, उसने बोला कि सो बिजनेस करने के पहले कोई होमवर्क नहीं किया. तो मैंने कुछ नहीं बोला. ही सेड कि आप इनसे मिली हैं. माय क्लियरिंग एजेंट वाज राम सिंह. ही वाज स्टैंडिंग नेक्स्ट टू मी, एंड ही वाज लाइक अ porter, who didn't know, who had no dressing sense or had talking sense. आप मिले हो इनसे कभी? मैंने बोला नहीं. ये आपकी टीम है. मैंने कुछ भी नहीं बोला. इसे आप वापस जाओ और ऑफिस वापस जाओ. आपके कौन कौन है टीम में? मैंने बोला आई हैव अ वेरी गुड मैनेजर, इज फ्रॉम ग्लेनमार्क. अच्छा, कल उसको लेके आना. तो आई टुक माई दिस मैनेजर टू हिज ऑफिस. अच्छा, उसके पहले मैंने बहुत स्टूपिड काम किया. Next day he was not there, so I reached his customs office and started talking, with his staff जो वहाँ बैठा था, because I was very angry and I said और मुझे ज़्यादा मालूम नहीं था गलत काम क्या होता है. I mean, I had no clue. Whatever Hindi movies I had seen, so I knew that people smuggle gold and diamond. That is the wrong thing which you do in import or customs. So I said, मैंने कोई डायमंड थोड़ी ना स्मगल किया है. Why he is calling me every day to office? What wrong I had done? He should tell me straight in black and white. और जो भी आपके रूल्स हैं, आप लोग बाहर वॉल पे क्यों नहीं लगा देते हो? We'll follow it. I don't want to, So they all were listening, and they told him exactly what I said. Exactly what I said. So next day when he called me to his office, so he said, "Acha," he saw my manager and he was impressed. That was my first business lesson learned that day. I am so thankful to him. He said, आप अपने बिजनेस को सक्सेसफुल बनाना चाहते हो? मैंने बोला हाँ. आप एक काम करेंगी, आप पहले ये जो आपका लड़का खड़ा है इसके ऑफिस जाएंगी. आपकी टीम तो अच्छी है, उससे मिला, आपकी टीम बहुत अच्छी है, आधी टीम अच्छी है. आप बिजनेस को चलाने के लिए पूरी टीम अच्छी होनी चाहिए. So same day I went to my clearing agent office. He had no office. He used to work from a cyber cafe, and he had a boy who used to dictate and used to write, because he can't even type and write. तो जो मेरा clearing agent था वो बिल्कुल, मतलब मैं क्या बोलूँ, he had no clue. तो फिर मुझे उसने बोला, see, he comes to me every day and he says, sir, साइन कर दीजिए फाइल पे, सर साइन कर दीजिए फाइल पे. तो आपके क्लियरिंग एजेंट को ही कुछ मालूम नहीं है. तो he said, Shelly, when you are working, the circle has to be complete. Everybody has to be right. You can't work with a person like him. And you know what you have imported? You have imported drug. Actually, I had imported drug. It was 6% of some
specific
drug which I had imported. I didn't even read it properly. And it was clearly saying my MSDS, that material safety data sheet, and COA, it was clearly saying it. He said, इसने पढ़ा नहीं क्योंकि इसको मालूम नहीं है. So so we always think about government officers, they are bad people, they are this, he guided me so well. He said, don't always think about sales and marketing. You guys focus so much on sales. You hire the best person, you poached it from a very good company and he's working for you. But that's not a complete circle. Your clearing agent has to be a good company. And please do your homework right before you import anything. He said, I'm clearing all your product, but ye nahi karunga. So I took a loss of $1,200 that time, which was a big loss for me. Plus he charged fine on it, but lesson learned. So before you do something, you should do your homework right. So it came from a government, very senior government officer, and he was friend to me for a very, long time. Always guided.
Very nice. What's he up to now? Where is he now?
He's retired.
So how did you think of building this brand? We heard the short form of the story, but what's the long form there? Why did you think that India was ready for something like this? And while I understand that India was behind Southeast Asia, why do you think India was behind? While the countries essentially got independence around the same time.
So many reasons. Actually, economy opened up very late. Dr. Manmohan Singh, he took that initiative. So we opened up late, and I think the market was also not ready. I think social media played a very big, very huge role. So the kind of the graph I see in last 6 years, it was not there before. So I always say, so many times this question has been asked. Even sunscreen, everybody was using when the dermat was writing it to them, and once they are over with the tube, they won't buy it again. But now they understand it's a must. So yeah, we are getting there. But still, I think we just started crawling. So huge scope.
Huge scope.
Huge scope.
And is your product generally consumed in the cities, or is it now getting into tier 2, tier 3 cities of India as well?
So up to tier 2 cities, we have not reached out to tier 3 cities.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest question I had in my mind was, how did you build these relationships with these dermats? How are they so enthusiastically prescribing your products while now there is enough competition in the market for very similar products?
So I'm very happy to say that it's the wall which is very high. So for D2C there are no barriers, no entry barriers. Anybody can start anytime. Tomorrow, if you want to start a brand, just get it done in your private label and start. But doctor's channel, I think, is the difficult part, very difficult part. It's a very slow process. You start from, let's say, one city, Delhi NCR. You hire a team, then the team reaches out to doctors. They promote your product. You should have your training team ready in the office. You should have all the manuals, brochures, everything ready. Product training is very important when you reach out to a doctor. So when you enter a doctor's cabin, he gives you 2 minutes.
Not even, yeah.
2 minutes. So they generally have pointers on the product. This is a new launch and this is a new product. I've come from this company and these are the key ingredients. We are going to address this problem. That's how. But it's a very slow process. See, because a doctor, you cannot put a gun and ki hamare products likho. So it's a slow process. He will try out, maybe he tried out on you and you were a happy customer. So you come back to them, they start prescribing it more. So that's how it's a slow but it builds a very strong foundation for the brand, definitely.
No, but how many dermats are there in India right now?
So we have around 23,000 dermats.
In India?
India.
And how many are prescribing your products?
15,000 off and on.
That's almost a 60% market share.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, but there are many players.
So they're also prescribing other products,
yes,
of course.
Yes,
that goes without saying. But at least 15,000 you have touched in one way or the other.
Yes.
And how did you build that sales infrastructure? How did that happen? I'm sure that would have taken a long time. And I think you weren't even, you hadn't raised a lot of funds until 2020, 2021.
No. So I told you, it takes a long time. We started with Delhi NCR, then we started with Punjab, and then Bombay. We started with UP, and then...
So did you have like cluster heads then? And then
Yeah. So there's a chain, in pharmaceutical and in our... So you have a sales head for the entire region. Under him, there are RSMs, regional sales head, they are called. And then under them, there are area sales head. And then under them, there are BDEs or you can call them MRs, medical representatives.
Who actually go?
Yes, who are the main soldiers. Yeah.
And what's the full size of the team right now?
174.
174 sales.
To be precise, only for derma division.
Okay.
So we have 4 verticals. Primarily, I told you, we are a derma-backed brand. We just don't write, we are a derma-backed brand. That's how we started. We have around 164, I said. Then we have export division where we have only 4 people, and we are exporting to more than 35 countries. Then over the counter brand, the retail channel, we just started 2 years back, still building. It's a tough, very tough nut to crack.
When you started with Delhi, right? You must have started with 1 or 2 salespeople. So what was the first day like? Like you said, okay, let's make a list of all the dermats in Delhi. And then did you go to some dermats yourself also?
Very bad.
And did they like throw you out? What's that initial story like?
बहुत बुरा था. So I remember one senior doctor, he was very rude to my person, extremely rude. भाग जाओ बाहर. Or what are you trying to sell me? It was not easy because see, the giants were sitting there, right? So Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's, Glenmark, all these, they are very big, because maybe you people don't know the pharmaceutical. We are very big. India is very big in world, and the size of these companies is crazy. They are 15,000 crore, 20,000 crore. Sun Pharma is more than 30,000 crore. If you guys have any idea, so they are very big, and they have a very strong hold in the market, and they have a huge portfolio of products. So derma is a very small portion of it. So not easy it was. It took me 3 months to get our first sale. 3 months.
Even to just get the first money.
First order.
And that was through a doctor only.
Through a doctor. Through a doctor only, yes.
Very interesting. And so then the Delhi team happened. And so how long were you only in Delhi before moving on to another city?
We were quick enough. We started Delhi NCR. Then very quickly we started Punjab. And
Like
then
what, few months?
No, after 1 year.
After 1 year. So 1 year you were only
See,
focused
there was
on
no
Delhi.
funding, right? There was the funding word was not there. First of all, this word didn't exist that time. Only bank was a thing where you can take, and bank usko already paise hote hain, so they don't give you if you don't have any money, right? So it was a slow process. You can only build brick by brick. So you just can't, the building won't come up overnight. It has to be built.
So you actually made revenue, made some margin,
Yeah,
and then from
yeah.
you use that margin to go into another city.
Yeah. So we were always a profitable company. I was withdrawing my salary, giving salaries in time, paying my rents in time. I was happy.
What was the first year revenue when you started?
याद नहीं, पर बहुत कम थी शायद.
Like few lakhs.
हाँ. Yeah.
But that was enough for you to at least get going.
Yes.
I think one of the questions that a lot of our students always have is that we can't start up something without first raising at least some amount of funds. And so, at least in this generation, the VC comes before the product does. Right? What do you have to say to that?
I don't have very good this thing, but Chirag is watching and saying, "Ma'am will say something bad about it." So I am not. I don't like this whole what is happening right now, because the youngsters sitting right in front of me, they think it's a very glittery, glamorous business. Building a business is something very interesting, very glamorous. You are on your own. You are a CEO. You are the owner. And you have your me time. You have your family time. You can go in mountains. You can go for vacations. No. It's nothing like that. It's absolutely not like that. I think you also understand. So I think they think it's like they have put business into very 3-4 simple steps. Like you get the money, you get something made in private label, you start selling, and then you sell it to somebody.
But so
And ho gaya. So I get 3-4 days back, I was saying there are 3 B's of business: banao, becho, bhago type.
Banao, becho,
Bhago.
bhago.
So this is
double click on this thing.
so and all of you read ET every day. I don't know how many of you read newspaper. I have a very good habit. I read newspaper every single day. I flip through the pages if I don't time, but that's my mantra, because I invest in stock market also. So I think ETs are right. I don't listen to anybody's ideas, but I just flip through the page just to get some idea. So if you guys read about the investments and people are selling their businesses and you get so excited, that's so simple. He just built it 4-5 years back. But only 2 out of 100 do that. 98, they don't go anywhere. So they are never discussed and talked about. So if you're starting a business, I think it has to be very crystal clear what you are planning to do. So loads of you are actually building business, right?
Yeah. No, understood. And tell me one more thing, which is you had this option to either go via doctors or go D2C.
So I'll tell you, that time D2C didn't exist, right? So I had no choice. Let me be very frank about it.
Amazon, Flipkart were
नहीं,
not
कुछ भी
there.
नहीं था. I started in 2010. So this all happened 2019. Amazon was there, but people had no trust on online that time, if you remember.
Especially for
COVID
skin.
actually turned around the tables for online business. People didn't trust them. They thought sab kuch fake milta hai, whether they were going to deliver it or not. We are not sure.
Nike also came in much later.
Much later. And unfortunately, we were not present online. Because dermats or doctors, they don't like online business at all. Of course, it's a threat to them in a way. So we were also very scared that whether we should go online or not. But during COVID, after the first wave, we realized we are missing the bus. So we quickly onboarded and on all the marketplaces, and I think that's our fastest growing vertical right now, doing very well. So for us, the D2C journey is very fresh.
So now people also buy your products without the dermat's prescription.
Yes.
What percentage is that now?
Big.
So that's very big.
Very big. Very big. Yeah.
Got it. So you're beyond dermats now.
Yes.
Got it. So it's essentially now a D2C, but it's a very different journey to a
Yeah,
D2C.
but we are of course connected with them, and we're still reaching out to them. So what we have done, we have divided the portfolio into two. So the products which we are they are prescribed to dermats are different, and which we are selling online are different. Yeah.
Very interesting. All right. I want to open this up to all of you. I'm sure you have a lot of questions. And I want your questions to be focused on how to build your own businesses, right? So try to come from that angle and ask, and I'll keep maybe following up with my questions. Yeah, go ahead. And be a little loud and say your name in the beginning.
So you said that from the past 2 years you were entering into the retail distribution part, right? And just Pratham sir's question was that now the dermats, the major sales come not only through the domats, but also people are recognize your brand.
Yeah. OTC channel we call it. The
Exactly.
retail channel. Right.
Yeah. So how does could you just elaborate more on the distribution part? Because for our product to be on every shelf in India, let alone India, or particular part of the city as well, it takes a lot of effort, right? And it's a very big change.
So I'll tell you, it's a very tedious. So when we sell through dermats, example, he has been to a dermat and he prescribes certain products of eczema. One, he has a choice to buy through a pharmacy which is next to the dermat, right? And second, he can buy online. That's a different thing. He can buy through the retail, or sometimes have in-house dispensary. We call it they dispense through the clinics also. So you can buy through the clinic. Now, there are two types of chains. Dermat chain is you have a CFA, which is clearing and forwarding agent, or we call it a distributor or super stockist. There are different terms, right? Generally, when you are dealing in derma or pharmaceutical, इनके percentage set होते हैं. You cannot change the percentage. They have a union. And you cannot decrease the percentage. They don't let you enter. So super stockist has 5% to 6%, right? The second is stockist, which is 10%. And then stockist to retail is 18 to 20%. तो तभी when you go to a chemist, वो कभी-कभी आपको 5-7% दे देता है discount. वो अपनी जेब से देता है. So that's the way it follows. So example, Delhi will have 20 stockists and 1 CFA. So we bill to CFA bills to stockist. Stockist further down bills to retailer or chemist or any shop. And then they pay back. The payment cycle is from 30 days to 90 days. Right? And okay, now coming to retailers, if you are a OTC brand over the counter, उसमें भी 2 divisions. One is called modern trade. Modern trade are chains. Generally, they are called modern trade are chains of retail shops. They are called modern trades. Like Apollo Pharmacy, 1mg, or Modern Bazaar. They are called modern trade. And other is GT. It's called general trade. So GT are normal kirana shops, beauty stores. They are called GT, general trade. Same percentage is there, but in that the percentage can vary because they don't have a union and they don't have a very strong, voice in the market like the pharma people have. So there it depends how big you are.
Ma'am, so now your brand is actually established. So before the establishment, अगर कोई fresh brand आ रहा है and they're entering into this distribution channel. So even if we get the product on the shelf, not necessarily कि वो बिकेगा.
हाँ.
So for a fresh brand, what would you say? How do we go ahead with this?
See, it depends. If you are very active on social media, let's say, so it might get sold through the shops. Or you have to see, this is every company, how big or small, they try to figure out. Because उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं secondary sale. तो primary sale होती है billing it to the CFA. पर कितना bill कर लोगे CFA को? माल वापस आ जाएगा. वो तुम्हारे को कोई contract sign करके नहीं देता है कि he will sell all the products. He will return your product, whoever you are. So they will return your products if they are not sold. The secondary sale is very important. The consumer should pick up your product. So it depends how what kind of promotions you are doing. You can do in store promotion also. There are girls who stand there, girls and boys who promote the product. You can do TV ad, ATL, BTL activities बोलते हैं उसको. तो वो सब करना पड़ेगा. Or see, what I think you can start from a small area to understand the brand. Maybe just from Delhi or from Gurgaon. See how it reacts.
What are you building?
So I have a drink brand called Soda DD. So I'm coming up with packaged lime sodas. So for that is what I want to understand the distribution, because product को बना लेंगे, because product is 10% only. Product बन जाता है. बेचना is the main part. So that's what I was.
Understood.
That's very good. If you have that very clear in the mind, generally people think my idea is a eureka idea. किसी को नहीं आता है. पर ऐसा नहीं होता है. It's just, you are so right, it's just 10% of the business. But selling is the major part.
So I'm going up with concerts where थोड़ी established करेंगे. Now I'm coming out with packaged products. So this is where I'm interested in the B2C product.
Yeah, you can even think of somebody can represent your brand, maybe a college head or something. Maybe how you want to build it, it all depends upon you.
So, ma'am, these stockists, when you go to them as a small brand, as someone who just started up, will they entertain you?
So for that, you need to have a good person, a good salesperson. So or maybe if you have certain relationships with them, so then they will talk to you. Otherwise, they don't talk to you.
They
It's
will
not
not
easy.
have.
No.
It's not easy.
See, the person, when you are this side of the counter, right, you are a customer. He will talk to you with a lot of respect. But when you enter as a seller, he is a king that side.
Yeah.
Even a small shop owner.
पूरा दिन बेचारा बेच रहा है उसको finally.
So he talks in a way, his tone changes. His tone entirely changes. Unless and until you are a very big brand. Otherwise, they are very difficult people. But then, see, eventually you should sell. If you sell, it's a win-win situation for you or them.
Yeah.
So they like you. So
So, ma'am, so many. Who else is building a D2C brand? What are you building?
I'm building in skincare only, ma'am. I have the same question with you. Given that the person should know when we are selling them, we should know the product what the customer wants. So before that, we should know what is the right product for our customers. And given that R&D and manufacturing is very heavy in India, and you can't get minimum MOQ and etc., and you don't know what products will work or not, what is the most cost-effective way to know what works and how we buy those products? Because you also started with private labeling. Even in private labeling, we should know what to order and what works, what doesn't work. So how do you tackle it in the most cost-effective way?
it's a tricky question because see, when we started private label, within 2 years we learned the lesson. So we had gone for our own manufacturing unit in 2012, and 1.5 years we had our own manufacturing unit. Now we have 2. We built another one in 2017. So not many people were thinking of having their own manufacturing unit, but we were very, very particular about quality and packaging. That's why we had our own. So private label is definitely a very dicey because you never know what they are doing with your, with their formulation, whether they are honest with their formulation or not. Because I see in many D2C brands, they are selling the final product for 500 rupees and 600 rupees, especially hair serums. And the cost of making it is around 200 rupees. I'm talking about the claims they are making. So like, Mnexil, Capixil, if you must have read, many of them are using, they are very good for hair serums. The cost is around 65,000 rupees a kg, right? If you are using 1%, so you can do your own maths. So how can you sell? So I always tell the thumb rule that there are a few thumb rules for doing everything, simple. You don't need an Excel sheet for that. So if a product is costing you 100 rupees, you should sell it for 800 rupees. Right? 8 times. And if you want some cushion, you should sell it 10 times. If you are doing it less than 8 times, you will definitely make loss.
So 80 to 90% gross margin.
कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है कुछ ही एक्सेल शीट बनाने की, कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. It's very simple. 8 times नहीं किया तो लॉस होना ही होना है.
But given that the market in India is very price sensitive, and as you go up in the price, you are then entering in the premium category, and the spending is not that much. And given that the only way you can sell it to them on a pan-India level is through websites, is through Amazon, which also takes away a 30% margin.
35.
35. So then you don't have anything to play around with. But given that you now have stocked up a lot of products, you have to sell them at a loss, or you have to go down with the price. Then how do you know that product works or not?
See it all. Then you should do some homework. You should plan it before, that how you're going to position your product. Is it a mass product? Is a mass premium product? Or is a premium product a very premium product? So it depends how and who you are targeting. Who are your target audience? Who are the people who are buying the product? Then only you can plan it. I think, it's a very competitive market, and you should think before you enter the market right now, because there's no entry barrier. There's no anybody, everyone sitting here tomorrow can start a brand selling online. So you have to think of something which is very unique. See, there are this question. In fact, I was telling this to someone. See, we all have to go back and understand one thing. Not him. His parents had a lovely professional university, but most of us are from middle class families, right? In true sense. And then our parents had shops, or jobs, and we all went to good schools. We studied well, we ate well, and we got married, and we are doing well. Right? Why this thing of scaling all the time? Scale क्यों करना है? So you plan कि मुझे अगर मैं 20 लाख का धंधा बना रहा हूँ, every month I'm selling, I'm making this much money, I'm happy, and अगर मैं उसको फिर तुम अपना एक SWOT analysis कर लो, whether I should go for a job or do my own business, उसको slowly try to build it, तो बन जाएगा धंधा, no problem. Scale करोगे गड़बड़ हो जाएगी, because you will see, अरे A is doing 50, B is doing 1
आप
crore,
उस रेस में चले जाते हो.
C is going 5 crores, I am still doing 20. 4 friends के साथ शाम को रेस्टोरेंट में बैठे, वहाँ पे अकल आ गई, अरे मुझे भी करना है. Then you go the wrong way. When you try to scale at a very fast pace, with some money or with no money, of course you are going to have losses then, definitely. And then things start going wrong. So see, even these VCs, they leave you. They just put money in your business. They are Shark Tank पे देखते हो, reality नहीं है. वो तुम्हारी कोई उंगली पकड़ कर तुम business नहीं कराने वाले, right? It's your own battle you have to fight. So you have to understand, if you, I think, build it slowly, you can still build it. I firmly believe it.
No, absolutely. I think in this generation, again, because of all the startup hype that we have, all the VCs, etc., funding rounds, exits, we think that's the only way to build a business. But until 1990s, until 1997, there was no VC in India. In fact, the first VC-backed company in India was Naukri.com.
So
came in 97.
I'll tell you our story.
उससे पहले, हाँ.
Before COVID, we had some cold calls from certain VCs that they were looking for some skincare companies at time. Race लगी हुई थी ना उस time पे सबकी. So it was 2019, I think. 2019. Yeah. So we were that time, our EBITDA was 28%. So, or we had our own factory, and we had no pitch deck. We had no clue what are our, points. आजकल तो points बनाते हैं, ये बोलना है, they open the speech with a grand opening होती है, कुछ नहीं मालूम था. So one VC I very clearly remember, he said, why you are EBITDA positive? I'm talking about 19, right? Why are you EBITDA? Very strange question. And this guy, one more guy, he said, आपने manufacturing unit क्यों लगाई? You should have put the same money into the business.
Into the
कोई
marketing.
क्या गाय पाल लेता है दूध के लिए? The comparison, look at the comparison he gave. And I will not name any of them. They are very big ones. And I think your sales and marketing is not very good. You should focus more on sales. You don't know how to project, all type of advices, and then they went away. So, but one thing is, one good thing which I feel I have is I always take cues. I like to take cues from anyone to everyone. If I think if there is a good advice, you should take it. So whatever corrections they said we should do, the process, we have SAP in system, we have a lot of softwares in system for sales and marketing. We did all corrections. They said कि आपकी factory में R&D part है जो, it should be little more glamorous and nice. So we did it. We did all the corrections. And even post-COVID, the funding which we got was forced upon us, to be very honest. We didn't go out for funding. It was like a friend who just came in and then he made us.
Nitin ji.
Nitin, yeah. So it happened like that. And they're very happy because we have given them 10 times in 3 years.
Oh wow, अच्छा. Nice. Got it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you so
क्या हुआ?
much.
हाथ पे हो?
I was already-
Oh, very, very nice.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much for this interesting session, ma'am. I have two questions. First is regarding your supply chain, and second is regarding how you build that loyalty amongst the domats. In the supply chain, you're giving away essentially super stockists, retailers, and
Stockist retailers, 3S. I know,
CNF.
1, 2, 3 है. हाँ.
Yes, CNF stockists
हाँ.
and retailers,
हाँ.
35% margin यहाँ पे dilute हो गया.
हाँ.
So, initially understandable that you use CNF and distributors का network to sell your product आगे. But once you have enough retail network, do you plan to open up your company-owned central hubs that supplies directly to retailers? If not, then
No need. No need. See, it's now, thankfully, it's a very organized sector now. So you won't believe when I even started, that time also this pharmaceutical and all was very organized. Even these small chemists had a homemade software, regional softwares they had. So example, if you reach out to a chemist और तुमने हमारा कोई product मांगा, so we used to get a SMS of the
अच्छा.
location of the chemist that this product is not available there. And automatically it used to go to a stockist कि available कराओ. तो शाम को एक लड़का बाइक पे जाता था और वो उसको दे के आता था. So वो तब भी था, So it's a very organized sector. Don't worry about it. And there's no need to get into the mess. You can find a good distribution system. There are many companies who are doing it right now. You can reach out to them. They will take your products on a certain very less margin. They keep it and they further distribute it. So that's also there. That option is also there. But you can find a good CFA also, a good carrying and forwarding agent. See, for that you need to hire a good salesperson. वो तो लेना ही पड़ेगा. And then you can learn from him. You have to get a good person from some good company to learn the nuances of the business.
Distribution is okay. Just on
हाँ.
your question, you have the network in place, but how do you generate demand in the network? Right? Dermats is one, sure.
हाँ.
But then you have to do some ATL, some BTL to then actually fuel that demand through that supply chain.
Definitely.
Right. What have you done there?
What one thing is always there. See, you have to go in the field. तुम चाहे 500 करोड़ कर लो, 1000 करोड़ कर लो, अगर तुम मार्केट में नहीं जाओगे ना, you will not understand the what you call nubs of the market. तो जाना जरूर. You should go in the market, go to stores, see what's happening, and get the first feedback from the store owner. They give you great feedback. So social media is the spillover effect is there. They told me very clearly. अगर तुमने बहुत अच्छा ad चलाया है online, उसका आता है effect. People see it. People who go and buy through the retail shop, they can recall the brand. So it works. Not everybody has to go on TV. It's a most expensive medium, right?
makes sense.
Yeah.
Second question being regarding how you build that loyalty with those dermats. Like you took down such mammoth of companies, and now you've become that, and your company is at that stage where a lot of startups will be targeting your dermats. So today you're fixed derma, tomorrow there might come a company fixing derma. कि मेरा product has a better
Absolutely.
margin.
Right.
How do you defend from such competition that I guess must
See,
be rising every day?
for me, I believe that there are two strengths. See, since we have 4 verticals, so every vertical has a different strength. For the derma vertical, 2 mantras I say tell my team whenever we have a meeting, we have regional meetings and all those meetings. So when I talk to them, I talk in a very simple layman. कोई PPT नहीं दिखाने की आदत है, क्योंकि after all तो field में काम होना चाहिए. So 2 mantras are very important. One is product knowledge. Excellent product knowledge. It should be like, back of your hand. And second is follow-ups. आप दिखोगे तो बिकोगे. तो अगर रिटेल की भी वही है, and even through a dermat, if you are not reaching out to a dermat, he'll forget you because there are so many other companies. So your follow-up with the dermat is very, very important, right? And I always believe if you are a good product, good company, they will rewrite your brand. So the product has to perform also. But then comes the quality. So it's a complete circle, right? Good quality, good salespeople, good follow-up, product knowledge, product training has to be, अब जैसे उसने अपने drink की बात की, he is making. What are the differentiators? Why he is better than others? तो अगर उसके सेल्स के लड़के को एकदम उसको फ्लैश कार्ड दे दो, जैसे बच्चों को देते हैं ना, A for apple, B for ball, समझा दो उसको कि ये 4 पॉइंटर्स हैं, ये घुसते ही बोलना है. So इन सब की भी ट्रेनिंग होती है. Generally, so when you get good people, how a sales person should talk to a retailer. So there are lots of things actually which you learn. So how to talk to a retailer की भी training होती है, how to talk to a dermat की भी training होती है, how to stand in front of them, what should you wear, a lot of things.
Thank you so much. I'm just curious, were there any referrals in those dermats that you built? I have these 2 dermats as well as friends. I would tell them to recommend your products as well.
The dermats
हाँ, इसमें referrals हैं क्या?
in Gurgaon,
Anywhere, like, do dermats refer each other about your products?
हाँ करते हैं. So we call them KOLs in our language, key opinion leaders. So हमारे KOLs होते हैं. तो जो तुम लोग बोलते हो ना बेस्ट डॉक्टर, तो उसको हम लोग KOL बोलते हैं. So there are 2 or 3 KOLs of Gurgaon. तो generally जो नए डॉक्टर्स होते हैं who pass out and who start their the clinic, generally वो लोग उनको copy paste करते हैं. It's because उनको लगता है कि they don't know, nothing should go wrong, right? Because see now real estate is so expensive, so you have to understand dermat की भी जो clinic है वो भी तो एक छोटा business है ना, उसको चलाना है. So उसका rent है, then he hires people. So generally what in the beginning they just cut copy paste and slowly they also learn. So we reach out to the KOLs. They are very important people for us.
And in this medical sales, like, do you have to take the dermats on for retreats and spend money on them and take them out and all of that? What we see in movies sometimes,
थोड़ा बहुत तो होता है. CMEs, he said, conferences होती हैं, congress होती है. So they ask us to, fund them or send them. चल करना पड़ता है. नहीं करोगे तो कोई और करेगा. You cannot be like a goody कि हम नहीं करते, ऐसा नहीं होता. तो you have to do it. Because then other companies are also involved, right? Yeah.
Fair. So go ahead.
Follow up to that question only.
We'll come back to you.
Follow up to that.
Wait. Just take the mic.
Sir, I'm David. Follow up to that question only. Is there any profit sharing that you have to give to the dermatologists?
No.
Like there are many competitors arising daily. Like Ducre, you must have heard the company.
Ducre, yeah, I know. It's a French, very old company. It's 100 years old.
I'm like, its hair serum cost 6,000. Yours cost not like half. So ma'am, they dominate the market still. Like big doctors of Delhi still recommend Ducre.
Yeah. So see, again, we are in 35 countries. The journey was the toughest for us, because an Indian skincare brand to sell abroad is no joke. I had actually put a post also on LinkedIn a few days back. No joke. It was so difficult to build the brand because they don't trust us at all. पता नहीं क्या बोलते हैं ये लोग Indians. So it was very difficult, but we built it. So Ducre is a very old brand. It's like 100 plus. It's a French brand. So quality is extremely good. Why it's expensive in India? 35% duty है cosmetics पे India में. So freight charges हैं. Then there is a distributor of Ducre or in India. He'll keep his margin and he follows the chain. So expensive हो जाता है इसलिए. Why he is writing? Because Because see the percentage, so we don't give percentage to doctor, we give a discount to doctor. So if the doctors are also now, see they are also business people. So if he'll write you a 10,000 rupees product and he's getting 40% discount, तो उसको कितने पैसे बने? I don't think I need to tell you the calculation, है ना? और अगर एक इंडियन ब्रांड लिखेगा 2,000 रुपए का, उसमें भी उसको 40-50% मिले तो उसको 1,000 रुपए बनते हैं. वो कंपेयर करता है एप्पल टू एप्पल. तुमको देख लेता है खरीद सकता है कि नहीं, खरीद सकता है तो लिख देता है. ऐसे ही चलता है.
Some doctors don't give discount in their pharmacy.
नहीं देते हैं, नहीं देते हैं. हाँ. और we can't ask them.
It is like profit sharing only.
They are difficult people. We cannot go and tell them कि आप भी दो. नहीं देंगे.
So you give a discount and they will sell at whatever price they want to. Makes sense.
And they love writing imported products because they're making much more money in
Yeah,
it,
absolutely.
right?
If they have their own dispensaries, which most of them do.
Yes, and plus it's not easy to find online these products.
Right. Go ahead, yeah. Take the mic.
So I'm actually a medical doctor and I've worked in pharma industry. I own an agency where we work with all these brands, Cipla, Sun Pharma, for their marketing, right? So my question is, now you are shifting towards OTC. So is there any impact within the doctors community if they are not writing or because I've promoted Nizoral also, and the 1% can be OTC, 2% is prescription based. So I wanted to ask you how much of an impact.
My God,
Deep question.
yeah. You won't believe when we have our meetings. Our salespeople are like they're in 40s, late 40s. इतनी लड़ाई होती है, you can't enter into the conference room. झगड़ रहे होते हैं आपस में. Oh, they hate each other, the OTC people and the prescription ways. They just dislike each other, and then they hate the e-com people. I mean, मतलब उस चिराग की पिटाई नहीं हुई है बस. They hate them because उनको सबको लगता है हमने build किया है brand. He's taking advantage. They think he's taking advantage. And doctors don't like you at all because when you're selling online, an influencer is selling your product. So in fact, a doctor told me in a podcast, I have spent 8 years in getting my degree. And influencer is promoting and telling you what is acne and what is P acne and what is this cystic acne. What is this? You have to balance it. Thoda sa, see, you have to be very dheet, when you're doing a business. Extremely resilient. सुनो निकाल दो क्या करोगे अभी? So you have to build all the verticals, right? And you can't become a bigger company if you just keep selling through doctors. So we had to go on OTC retail channel, but we have divided the portfolio. But होता रहता है, pilferation बहुत होता है. Can't help it.
And the branding is also different. Sorry, like the Afrabate Acne Gel does not come with that logo of yours.
So what we did, we divided into two. That FCL Skincare is our white premium range, which is a little expensive, quite expensive. Everything is above 1,000-1,500 rupees. And Fix Derma was for mass premium range. That was the idea to, be divided into
So it's not divided. It's divided by pricing, but not divided by supply chain.
No, not supply chain. But we don't keep a lot of FCL in retail stores because they're expensive and they are very high on actives. So the shelf life is also less than, so more chances of contamination or expiry. So that's why we don't keep them so much on shelf. Yeah.
Moving forward, what do you think will be the main business driver, the OTC market or the prescription?
See, OTC market. I have to accept because you can reach out to, right now we are at 27,000 POS, point of sales. So idea is to by end of this year to reach out to 100,000. So of course you reach, as an owner, I feel still very bad when I say, क्या करते हो आप? Skincare. अच्छा, startup है? इनका नहीं पुरानी कंपनी है. क्या नाम है? Fix Derma. तो वो Fix Drama बोलते हैं, Fix Droma बोलते हैं. And they don't understand. So you think you still have not done enough. वो itch तो सब में होता है ना. You should be known. I don't have to give my long introduction what we are doing. So without OTC, nobody would know.
No, like my parents have a cosmetic center, my mom. So they are also using Fix Derma on patients. They are prescribing that also. So it's doing well.
Thank you.
मैम एक बात बताइए फिर कि आप जैसे कह रहे थे कि why scale, right? So I think for the first 13-14 years you were in that slow moving journey, right?
हाँ.
And then in 2021 is when you raised capital. That capital raise obviously means that now you have to scale because you have to give a return, the 10x return that
नहीं ऐसा नहीं था.
अच्छा, ऐसा
So they were a strategic partner, and we from day one we wanted a strategic partner who understands the industry. See, example, he is building a soda business and he's planning to build a skincare business. If you have a VC or let's say a strategic partner who from the same industry, it definitely helps. They understand the business. They know how much time it takes and they know the bad and good part of it. But if
This
you
is,
just get a plain VC, they don't understand. वो इतना push करेंगे आपको बहुत, you'll be in so much stress.
So guys, this is super important. You know, we always think of VCs as the only source of capital, but you also have these strategic investors who are larger companies in your domain who are now looking to diversify their product portfolio, right? So that's always a very good target to also have. In fact, in Tether, which is our other brand, all of you guys know, we're actually taking a strategic investment from a very large education company called Eruditus, if you guys have heard of, right? Wonderful. So that made a lot more sense to me than going to a Sequoia or a or one of those.
Yeah. That was, and plus, see, taking money is not bad. You have some kind of a pressure also. You know, you look at your targets, your everything from a very different perspective. So it helps you grow, definitely.
But then when you're taking a strategic investor, and correct me if I'm wrong here, doesn't the strategic investor come in to eventually then buy you out one day?
Possible.
Right? So there is some sort of a implicit sale of that company that's happened, right? When there's a strategic investor. That's a caveat to strategic investors. They will want to buy you out eventually.
See, that also depends on you. When you're signing the term sheet or the SHA, you can always negotiate. You should not say that I want to go out in the market. I don't want you to be gobbled up by them. You can always say that first right going in the market should be mine. And if somebody's giving me less money than you, then of course I'm coming back to you.
Correct.
So that option is there. But not bad. अगर आपको कोई बड़ी अच्छी कंपनी ले लेती है and they can do a better job than you and you can stay there as 15%, 20%, be active. If you are young, you have to see your other, और तुम्हें लगता है यार बहुत बना लिया, I don't want to do something else, then you can sell and exit. It's up to you.
One of our frequent campus visitors is Shantanu from Bombay Shaving Company, just right behind. And he has taken strategic investment from Reckitt and Colgate-Palmolive.
Wow.
Right? So he has two strategic investors. And he's able to use their networks to sell his products, which is like putting yourself on essentially like a rocket.
See, that is one good thing, but then the product has to sell.
Obviously, I mean,
so the network you can use. You know, they'll give you the names and they will just place the products. The product has to move from the shelf. That's extremely important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Someone else had their hand raised. Someone had their hand raised, I saw. With the questions answered. Ma'am, so, yeah, go ahead.
Hi, ma'am. I'm Tanvi. Thank you so much for the session. One thing I've noticed in the VC space is that a lot of brands struggle with their positioning. They either become too commercial or too clinical. And I think Xderma is the brand in India that's navigated this very, very well. So my question is, how did you and how have you continued to retain your credibility as a dermat-backed brand while at the same time appealing to everyday customers?
Just trying my best.
The honest answer.
Yeah. There is something. So मुझे लगता है one important thing I was telling him also कि please, I mean, before you start your journey, be prepared. It's a tough one. It's not easy. Not every day is a good day. Not at all it's a good day. In 365 days, only 5 days are where you feel extremely good about building the business. You feel extremely nice and going to office, लगता है yeah, something I've done. Otherwise, rest तो you are in a bad shape because something or the else keeps happening. So I always say, you know, you are like that. You remember that there's an inflated doll which kids keep hitting and it keeps coming back and standing. So you are like that. People keep hitting you and you have to keep straight and back on your toes. So that's it. Because see, every stage has its own challenges. When you are a 10 lakh business, different problems. 50 lakh business, 500 crore business. Every time there's a challenge. 500 crore hoga, 200 crore hoga, तो ज़्यादा माल फंसेगा market में. The numbers are very big, you know. Your losses are very big. The numbers which you can't write, eventually you learn to write on your own, you know. So, so then you have to be ready ki what you are getting into. So be prepared.
And should our students start up in cosmetics and skincare, and would you recommend or would you not?
Its market is definitely right now very competitive, very cluttered. I think maybe if you have to plan on skincare, maybe you should wait for some time, let the dust settle because it's too much right now in the market. And just building it on D2C channel, I don't think it's a joke right now because everybody is trying its best. And the companies who have funding, you have to remember them. So if their sale is around 100 crores, they are putting 150 crores. So 50 crore is a net loss. So if you think like that, then otherwise I don't think so.
And what would differentiate a successful brand from a not so successful one in the next 5-10 years? Of course, the product itself will be the number one, but what else?
Yeah, the gross profits should be more. In that terms, you should have your own manufacturing, quality, network, so many things now. I think slowly you'll start counting, adding up. The market is changing, the dynamics are changing every few months.
And which part of the market do you think will grow? Will this Mamaearth sub 500 rupee market will grow? Will this slightly 1500 plus rupees market will grow? Where do you see the biggest gap?
There's no gap. We have a huge population.
Everything is a gap.
Everywhere is a gap. You have to be very, from the day one, you have to be very cautious about how you want to project your brand in the market. So whenever we have interviews in office, I always tell them, then, you young kids, when they come and say, they look at our packaging, they find it a little sad, and I'm very much aware about it. So I just tell them that, see, we are a concern-based company. We are here to fix your pigmentation, your melasma, your acne, bad acne, good acne. There are stages of acne. So we are here to do that. And that's what you have to promote, and that's what you have to address the market a concern-based company. So I think you have to plan it in a proper way, how you are going to address the market. Position your product in the beginning. But market is definitely there. We are growing like anything, and I see a huge scope for everything, be it clothing, be it jewelry, be it shoes. Just imagine the size of the market we are sitting in.
If you tell me OTC is the next big thing for you in terms of sales, then where do you think your ideal consumer will find you? So I had a work stint with Frank Ross and Mami in Calcutta, and we were doing campaigns with residencies there. What we tried to do was do campaigns for Sebamed and Cetaphil, really find out if the customer themselves is coming to the Frank Ross stores. But we identified that since it's a pharma-led brand, a lot of chauffeurs and drivers are coming to pick up stuff. So they were not noticing the products which are premium right in front of them, which the consumer might have. So where do you think your products would be found is my first question. And second is, I think Pratham mentioned something about market readiness. Is India ready for brands like Fixderma? Was it ready 5 years back? Has your competition changed? For example, a Sesderma brand like a Spanish or French.
Yeah, Sesderma, yes.
Were you competing with them earlier and you're still competing with them, or are they indeed equivalent to you're competing with today?
So it again depends on the vertical. If we are talking about D2C, we are competing with, let's say, Foxtail and Mamaearth and Dermaco and so many other brands like skincare brands. If you talk about OTC, we are definitely competing with Cetaphil. But Cetaphil has a very limited product range, and they are a little on the expensive side. They have only moisturization range, and they have done a extremely good job, fantastic job. And you know how many years Cetaphil has been in India? I think not many people. कितने साल में बताओ एक guess करो. 23 years. So it took 23 years to Cetaphil, and it's a L'Oreal brand, right? It's a Galderma brand. So it takes time to build and to come to this stage. But we, of course, OTC, we have Cetaphil, Sebamed, so many other brands. Cess Derma is a plain doctor prescribed brand. They are not, they are only through certain pharmacies because they are very expensive again.
I've visited at least 7 dermats in the last 3-4 years because of issues with PCOS, etc. And they've all recommended Cetaphil and Fix Derma. They're like, these are the 2 brands we can only recommend.
Oh, thank you so much. I still...
Good feedback.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but retail chain, see, e-com is growing very fast, but still if you talk about 2-tier and 3-tier cities, people still go to retail shops and buy. So people are buying. And there are suburbs also, no? Every city has suburbs, right? You know, near Bombay, small cities, they come to Bombay and buy wholesale market, say. Then they resell it.
Absolutely. I'm sorry to again ask you back, but I'm just trying to understand where would an ideal consumer find you on a retail level? Would it be a pharmacy store? Would it be like a Spencer where probably
No, not Spencer, pharmacy and beauty stores. That's our target, right? Pharmacies and beauty stores, yeah. But it will take time. I mean, trying to build it.
How's the Galleria store doing?
Okay. Yeah.
How's the rent there?
Very high.
कितने का होगा वैसे?
6 लाख.
6 लाख का महीने का.
और 2 लाख की सेल होती है.
150 स्क्वायर फुट.
2 लाख की सेल होती है, हाँ.
150 स्क्वायर फुट.
हाँ.
150 स्क्वायर फुट 6 लाख.
नहीं 150 नहीं है. 250 स्क्वायर फुट.
250 है?
हाँ, थोड़ा बड़ा है.
250 स्क्वायर फुट 6 लाख.
So brick and mortar is very expensive. Not a good idea, definitely.
This is just a branding play for you.
We thought कि putting up a hoarding will cost the same. No, hoarding लगाओ उसका भी तो time limit होता है. कुछ sale भी हो जाएगी यहाँ से. So it's more of an experience center. When you go in, you can see the products, and our person who is there, our salesperson, is an bee farm. So he knows he can in fact act like a doctor only. So
They're wearing the.
Yeah, and then we have a skin assess. Mirror is there. Yeah. So yeah, we have plans. We will see, but not like very. I don't want to say anything like other brands. कि हम इतने store खोले नहीं खोलने वाले हैं. We'll see, because it's an expensive idea. But definitely, I would like to have one store in Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Bombay. Just one store.
Wherever there is traffic.
In a very traffic, so that people can see the brand.
So 2 लाख रुपए की सेल 6 लाख
बस
के रेंट 6 लाख के रेंट पे.
बहुत बढ़ जाएगी तो 4 हो जाएगी.
मतलब लॉस पे है स्टोर.
लॉस पे ही रहेगा वो
लॉस ले.
People come and then buy online.
हाँ.
वो भी अच्छा है. Like you have that effect. You come to showroom, you experience, and then you buy online.
Yeah.
So that happens.
So online is definitely has changed the whole scene of offline purchases, and now quick commerce. My God.
How उस पे हुआ?
Yeah. Doing very well. It's scaling up like anything, but the store people are not happy. I met few of them. They are very unhappy about it. So let's see if they want to reach out to the government. They have a traders association, they were saying. So it's building up, it's boiling right now. So they want to reach out to government and say something. Because
quick commerce को बंद करो.
Oh, quick commerce को बंद करो.
Guys, be careful.
नहीं, उसका reason है ना. See what has happened. If you see from quick commerce from a very different perspective, they have dark stores, right? And they have limitation of keeping the brand. Example, let's take example of achar, pickle. So if you go on Blinkit or Zepto, there are only 3 brands available, 3 to 4. So वो रख ही नहीं सकते. They have their own limitation. If you go to Modern Bazaar or any retail store, you see 20 brands there. So those 17 are facing the problems. They are not getting sold. So if you go to a retail store, big retail store, they have they do a consumer behavior study. So when you go to a retail store, you have a grocery list, right? You can ask your mom also, she'll tell you. 70 or 60% they follow the list. 30 to 40% they buy random stuff, which was not required. But it's very important also, right? Because if they had been buying a certain mother's achar for a long time, they saw a new brand, they'll just pick it up. But now because of Blinkit, it's not happening.
The new brand discovery is not happening.
New brand discovery is not happening. Their movement has been less. So they are actually facing a problem because now it's convenience. Blinkit is so much convenience. You have no plans right now of grocery shopping. You buy whatever you want anytime. So they have a bit of, they are going through distress.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
Got it. Go ahead.
Hello, hi ma'am. Firstly, thank you for the really candid conversation. I think it really helps us think better. I'm Preksha and I have a question, for me to understand basically when you were starting, what were you looking at when you were hiring your first set of people, like, when you were making your core team? I really want to know, was there something specific you were looking for or was it basis your gut? What was that like?
No gut. See, when you are starting any brand, any category you are planning to try to get a good person from a better company. ये आइडिया तो होना ही चाहिए. Don't think you are smart enough. No, you are not. You do your own analysis also, where I am good at. I am good at making the product. I am good at selling the product. I am good at finances. Where I am good at and what are my weaknesses. So try to fix that first. So try to get a person who's from a better company, pay them more. It pinches. Don't take salary, give them salary. It's okay in the beginning. You will learn all the nuances, वो क्या करते हैं, कैसे work with them, go to market with them or whatever you are doing. Even the D2C, sit down with them and work with them. And then even ask them to go once you learn it.
Hi, I'm Zaryu. I just had a question about how impactful are, let's say, skincare trends into this industry, because I know for a fact that we a very different type of, let's say, trends that happen on, like, the influencers have different trends going on. I'm pretty sure 10 years ago, there was a different market that you were trying to solve for. So how does this impact, let's say, your R&D, the amount of SKUs you have, etc.?
So we are actually, again, see what this question was asked just now. We don't follow trends so much, but we do follow certain trends. So if I'll give a ratio, we follow 20 to 10% of the trends, because you have to be a little trendy to be, in the market. So we follow trends, but less 15 to 20%. Because see, you cannot be behind the trends. It's not possible that you keep changing the colors of your products or look of your product all the time. How you are going to establish the image of your product, it's a long-term thing. So you should not be after trend so much, but you have to plan it. What ratio you want to follow the trend, because they keep changing.
Right, exactly. So it's very dynamic. So
Yes,
they keep changing.
yes,
So
yes.
how they choose which trends to follow, which ones they see the most depth in?
So see, we have our own software's way of looking at it. We go by the data. If certain trend is doing extremely well, then we start chasing it. Example, see, when we were selling serums before anybody was selling, but we were not able to sell serums because serum market was not there. People didn't understand what is serum. You won't believe when we had gone. So before you before you launch a product, you have to get that product registered in drug department. We have a cosmetic and drug department. They give you a certificate that is registered. The formulation gets registered. I remember we had launched vitamin C serum, and they didn't give us the approval. अप्रूवल कह रहा है सेरम तो इंजेक्शन होता है, तो आप ये क्या बनाया आपने? कहा ये तो टॉपिकल एप्लीकेशन है, बाहर बिकता है. तो कह रहा है बाहर बिकता होगा, इंडिया में तो नहीं बिकता है, ये तो इंजेक्शन है. वो सेरम इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंडिया है ना, इतनी बड़ी कंपनी. हाँ, तो फिर कह रहा आप नाम बदलो उसका, आप लोशन लिख दो. मैंने बोला लोशन लिखेंगे लोग लेंगे नहीं, पैसे नहीं देंगे. When you see serum, you think it's expensive, something better is there. So it's all the psyche, it works. बहुत मुश्किल से तो we got serum as an approval, in drug department. And that time serum market was not there. So we had only 2 serums. And later on the market became so mature. You all are, I think, using serums right now. So we followed the trend. We saw the market and we followed. We launched few more serums. So one of our very, good selling products, a pore minimizer serum. So it does quite well, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
When I first saw your product, I didn't think it was made in India. The design made me feel like it was like a Cetaphil, French, Japanese, maybe even a Korean kind of a brand.
Thank you.
I think the branding was really on point. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Suvan. So you were mentioning as like the doctors don't like and the dermas don't like about the influencer reels and all that kind of stuff. So how do you look at the influencers launching their own brands, like the Pegavathicons, 82 Degrees there, Priyanka's Anomalies there? So how do you look at it?
See, this trend has been in US and UK for a very, very long time. I remember we do private label also for very few companies. It's just 7 to 8% of our total business. So I remember one celebrity from UK, they reached out to us and we made a face cleanser for them and a face cream for them. Very interesting packaging, very high on fragrance. But it 2 years they sold and they were band kar diya फिर उन्होंने. So what they do, it's a trend there in US and UK. Let me tell you, it's a trend. So when they are at the peak of their, they are very famous and they're at the peak of their career, they launch something and then they sell it to somebody and they exit. So it's a very, वो जो इंडिया में अभी आ रहा है, हाँ. But not everyone does well. Yeah. And again, it depends how much they are into skin of the business, right? So if even a Priyanka Chopra or any of these they think कि दूर से बैठ के इनके नाम पे बिक जाएगा, तो मुझे नहीं लगता तुम लोग लेने वाले हो.
पहली बार ले लोगे शायद एक बार एक्सपेरिमेंट करने के लिए.
They have to be into the business. Try to explain you why they are better than A, B or C brand. Then only you will buy.
Have you gotten a brand face yet?
Yeah. We got Vani Kapoor. Then we got Baman Irani.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Why did you choose him?
So we have a product for which we have got patent. It's called Nigrifix. It's a problem called Nigrifix, nigrican acanthosis. So it's your elbows, your knees, and your neck. It becomes dark. It's an underlying medical condition. It's not because कि आप ठीक से नहाते नहीं हो. Generally, people think like that. It's not the reason. This is an underlying medical condition. You must be having PCOS, PCOD, or diabetes, or you are obese. So that's the reason, and it can go away. So we see all these ideas come from the dermats also. So they were saying there's no product, so we launched it. But how to educate the people? So we chose Bowman because you must have seen in so many movies, and he has that that kind of image where he gives a lecture and
uncle vibe, yeah.
Uncle vibe. So I thought he was the right person, and he was a very good person also. And he has no celeb air or anything. Very nice person. So we got a patent for the product, the process, the way we have made it. So our first patent,
Oh, nice. But did you get him before the launch to launch the product, or was it that your product was already successful and then to further scale it, did you get him?
So we had done the soft launch and then we took him. So yeah,
you were ready to invest in that product because you know it chalega.
Yes. And it did actually made a difference. Whenever we run the ad, we see a spike in the sales. Yeah.
Community angles, from a builder's perspective, because we all building land. You said that you have at least 15,000 dermats who describe your products and 23,000 in India. Do you keep them engaged with something? Sorry, I'm so sorry. Do you keep them engaged through something? Like, is there a need for the community to talk to each other or for the community to grow by themselves? Because you want to get from 15K to 23K and more, of course. So, how do you manage the community?
Which community?
The community of dermats, because they are the ones who kind of get your products out there as well. Just for context, we are all trying to build communities for our own products. For example, if I'm building an EdTech, I'm trying to build a community with school students from class 8 to 12. I'm trying to give them knowledge capsules every day, that you know what, watch this podcast, do this, do that. So that's why I'm asking the question, how do you keep your community engaged and what tools do you use to do that?
So generally we have derma conferences which happen on regional levels. West Bengal has its own, UP has its own, Uttarakhand, Himachal, everywhere. So those conferences we participate as a company, and then there is again a derma club also. So we reach out to them. Then they have national level conferences. So that's how we reach out to the community. Yeah. And again, the KOLs generally they head or lead these communities. Yeah.
But thank you so much, ma'am, for your time and for your very open. We spoke for a long time and you were very, very honest and candid. And I think you'll see a lot of our students now messaging you on LinkedIn. काफी questions पूछ रहे हैं, काफी फिर बाद में पूछते हैं.
Yeah, because I think you should be. I see one more cue I would like to give you all. Be very honest with whatever you do. Be very candid and simple. no need of, see, one thing you always have to remember that Chirag is sitting, is our e-com person. So what happens, everybody has its own lingo, right? And we think we are very smart. So e-com की अपनी lingo है. अगर मैं इसकी बताऊं, OTC retail channel की अपनी language है और Derma की अपनी language है. वो लोग अगर अपनी अपनी बोल के सब लोग सोचेंगे कि we are doing better than you. So be very simple and easy with your team when you build them. Be very simple and straightforward. Don't try to impress them. कोई ज़रूरत नहीं उनको impress करने की, right? They should impress you. We generally founders try to impress everyone. No need. Try your team to impress you first. So that's very important. And just be straightforward and simple. I think.
On that note, are you hiring, ma'am?
Always we are hiring.
Always?
Always hiring.
What are the top 3 roles or top 3 problems you need solved today?
Always looking for good people. It's not easy to find. Yeah.
But what kind of roles are you looking for?
Many actually. Somebody in PR, somebody who can build a brand.
So branding, PR,
performance marketing.
performance marketing.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Now you know. I got you the door opening. All right. Thank you so much, ma'am. I really appreciate.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thanks.